Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr Boyce TV. Here we are.
I want to say welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. The Black Financial Channel is a place where you can go to get daily financial news and commentary from a black perspective. And also, if you know anything about me, you know it's going to be raw. I'm going to keep it honest. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100 with you about all the things that I think you need to understand to be an empowered black person in America and beyond. And so do me a favor, if you come in, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to have a really interesting conversation today. I want to take a second also to acknowledge my homeboys and homegirls on Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins, and so I see y'all down there. Thank you, brother. Dareem Credit says, looking great. Well, you're looking great too, brother. I want to say thank you, and God bless everybody. I think it's really cool and exciting when we get a chance to live another day and live another way. And so also I want to give thanks to my grandmother Felicia in heaven, because I believe that she sends me digital messages through my subconscious mind when I'm sleeping on things I can talk about. She's the first person to introduce me to financial literacy, and I every time I speak her name, she comes back to life. And so that's why I love to talk about my grandmother, because she introduced me to wealth and investing and financial literacy. And a lot of you probably have somebody in your family that's like that. So shout out their name if you have somebody. Shout out an Ashe for the loved ones that you have that are no longer with us, who you admire, who really set the tone for you, who really got you going, who made the difference for you, who set the trend for you. And then I want you to go and make sure you do that for somebody else. Make sure you're doing that for your kids. So this morning, things went through my head. I don't know where thoughts come from, but when they come to me, I'm like, I think this would be interesting to talk about. You guys know I'm a fan of hip hop. And in fact, actually, speaking of hip hop, I was texting back and forth with Charlemagne the God this morning about some stuff on the political thing. And I want to just sort of publicly reassert my alliance with him, in the sense that I respect him as a friend. I know he's crazy as hell. I know he does things that I would never do, but that's okay. You can look beyond your differences and find the things you have in common with other people. And I will say publicly and clearly and in no uncertain terms that I consider him to be an ally, because when you get a platform the size that he has, you don't have to do the things that he does. So you will never hear me on this platform say anything negative about Charlemagne the God. Doesn't mean I won't disagree. We can disagree, but he's strong enough where we can disagree and still remain friends. So I just want to make that clear, because we need black people wanting to be friends instead of black people all trying to take each other down and stuff like that. So anyway, I see you have a couple questions. I see Jay, you're asking about how to find a millionaire mentor. There's a lot of ways to do it, but just know that millionaires, their time is very valuable, because they're millionaires and time is money. So you're probably going to have to pay to have a millionaire mentor, to be honest with you, because most millionaires aren't sitting around just waiting to just have conversations. So maybe you can find somebody that's doing well and go work for them or something like that. And also feel free to join the Black Business School. We have great programs over there. We have great mentorship over there. I counseled a couple young people this week, on some stuff with their businesses. So there's lots of stuff out there. Feel free to, if you want to join our masterclass on the 6th, go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. So put your B1, your hashtag B1 in the chat. B1 means you're black first. It means also that we must be one to be successful. And I'm going to get it started now that we've had time to come into the chat. So I was thinking today, literally today on my brain, you guys know I'm a fan of hip hop. I was thinking about Dr. Dre and Suge Knight. I have no idea where it came from. I'm sitting there, I'm having a meeting with somebody, and for some reason, Dr. Dre and Suge Knight came up. And it fits with a pre-existing theme that I'd had in my head, that I've been telling you guys, that if you as black people ever want to really become successful economically, you're going to have to stop fighting with each other so damn much. Seriously, I don't know if y'all know Negroes that just like to fight, black people that just love to destroy. Like, oh, I'm gonna get that son of a bitch. I mean, it's fascinating to me, because it's such a reflection of the slave mentality. Because you'll see black people that have more venom toward a black person than they've ever had toward a white person. Literally, they have so much venom toward a black person that they literally want to harm them more than the Ku Klux Klan would. And I think that that's something that you might want to reconsider, because what's happening really, in my opinion, again, I'm marrying a therapist, so I get a lot of armchair analysis. So I'm fully certified now to be an armchair psychologist. So I need a little degree with an armchair on it to say I am fully certified now to be an armchair psychologist. And one of the things that I believe is that in our community we traumatize each other, and that trauma causes us to spread, almost like the virus. Like it's a type of virus where a traumatized person, if they're not careful, if they don't cure themselves of the trauma, they're going to be contagious and traumatize somebody else. Just the same way, like if somebody gets molested or something, usually the molester was molested, right? It's intergenerational, right? So basically, we have this weird thing where we like to just fight each other. We just go to war with each other. It becomes like really messy, really destructive. Nobody wins. And I was thinking about this too, in a mathematical way. So what if you have somebody that is an ally? Imagine you have somebody that you're doing business with, y'all are getting money, you're successful, you're very happy with each other, and you fall out, right? And let's say you fall out and you get so mad at each other that now that friendship has turned into an enemy situation, right? The same thing could be true not just for business, but for marriage, marriage is a business pretty much. I mean, you sign legal contracts just like a business. You share assets just like a business. You have almost like an operating agreement just like a business. When they make you say your vows, like I promise to do this and do this and do this. Basically, what you're doing is you're doing like kind of like a romantic version of an operating agreement. That's kind of what it is. Like, I promise you I ain't gonna have sex with nobody else in the neighborhood. I promise you I'm gonna be there for you for richer and poor, right? So people, things happen, contracts get broken or violated or whatever, and then you have divorce. And so suddenly, now pay attention now. Suddenly you have a scenario where somebody who used to be an asset to your life is now a complete liability. So that's different from somebody that you don't know attacking you, right? Because then they've gone from nothing to you to becoming a liability. When somebody used to be an asset and now they're a liability, then that means you have a double loss. You're not just losing what you lose when you go to war. You see, war is something that I think should be avoided at almost all costs, because in war, there's rarely a winner. When two powerful people go to war, you never have a winner. All you have is the biggest loser. If you go to war and you fight each other to the death and you take each other out, all you have is the biggest loser. Y'all both used to be 10 feet tall. Now, they're 2 feet tall because you won the war, and you're 4 feet tall because they got some licks in before you took them out. You follow what I'm saying? So, and you're falsely led to believe that you won. You're falsely led to believe I'm victorious. No, you're not. You lost because you're not whole. You're not what you were before the battle started, and you certainly are losing. You're certainly losing even more than that. So, because you're not just losing the actual cost of war, you're losing the opportunity cost of what would have been gained during peace. There's an opportunity cost, or what they call shadow cost. Opportunity cost is what you would have gotten if you had sat down with the person and worked it out, as opposed to going to battle, right? Like seriously, so think about this. You were both a 10. Two 10s go to war. One 10 becomes a 2, the other one becomes a 4. The 4 is like, I won. No, you're 4 feet tall now. You used to be 10 feet tall. You're a little midget talking about I'm a 7-footer. No, you feel good because you destroyed another black person, because you got that toxicity in your soul that makes you feel that destroying people makes you put you in a better position. No. So you're 4 feet tall instead of 2 feet tall. Y'all both started the war at 10 feet tall, but working together, y'all could have both been 15 feet tall. You could have both been 15 feet tall, maybe 20 feet tall, by being allies as opposed to enemies. Do you follow what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? Give me a yes in the chat if you follow what I'm saying, because sometimes I talk in abstract terms, and I don't want to go over anybody's head or speak in a way that is ultimately confusing. So I want to make sure you're with me. Give me a yes in the chat. Let me know that you're with me. Let me know if you're getting what I'm saying, right? So when you're fighting a war, you're losing in two fronts. You're losing what you would have gained by being friends, and you're also losing what you're going to lose by actually fighting the battle. So that means this. So this made me think about gangster rap, right? You're like, boys, how are you connecting this to gangster rap? Let me explain why. Actually, before I do that, do me a favor. Take 1 second, please. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching online, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're watching on Twitter, please retweet. Facebook, please share. Please do all of that so more people can see these conversations, because black folks need healing. We need intelligence. We need to kill ignorance. Intelligence over ignorance. We need to put that on a damn shirt. Maybe we have a shirt like that. I don't know. But anyway, let me get to the point. So I thought about some guys that I was really big fans of back in the day. Tupac Shakur, Dr. Dre, and Suge Knight. Tupac, Dre, and Suge Knight, I remember being in grad school. And I remember that I was the same age as Pac. I think Pac's a month younger than me or a month older than me. I don't remember which one. But I identified heavily with Tupac. I thought Dr. Dre was great. Suge Knight was a boss. You know, he'd wear the big red suits and come out looking like a big ass cherry, right? But a gangster cherry, right? Like, you ain't gonna mess with Suge Knight because he's just, you know, he got the cigar and the hat and, you know, the whole image and the big chain on. It's cool, right? It was like, okay, good for you. Like, you getting money. Good for you, black man. And he was sitting, and they as a collective were sitting on top of what was, you know, literally an entertainment gold mine. White people wanted to have what they had. Like, white people couldn't produce hits the way they could. There's nobody in the music industry doing what they did. They were in on the ground floor. This is where billionaires come from. This is where billionaires come from. Billionaires come from people that are invested on the ground floor at the seed level of something that eventually becomes enormous, because then your wealth grows with that thing. Like, for example, the founder of Zoom, I forgot the guy's name. He founded Zoom. He got some investors, got this little thing called Zoom going. Then he got a few million subscribers, and that put him in the hundreds of millions of dollars category in terms of net worth. And then suddenly the pandemic hits. Zoom grows from 10 million subscribers to 200 million subscribers. His wealth balloons at the same rate as the company itself, because his wealth was connected and correlated to the value of the asset. Same thing is true with Elon Musk, who was set right before the pandemic to receive a payment of $54 billion because he'd grown Tesla so much. And I said it, let me say it again, because I'm not just stuttering here. $54 billion, billion with a B. One payment. Imagine looking at your bank account and seeing $54 billion in your checking account. That's crazy, right? So Suge Knight was in a position to be an Elon Musk, right? He was in a position to be an entertainment version of a Mark Zuckerberg, right? But things happen, right? Sometimes the slave training kicks in, and we know the story of death row. I don't have to repeat that, right? You saw things happening that weren't supposed to happen, things being done in a way that was not appropriate. Suge Knight, it seemed that maybe he forgot that, that you can't keep it street and keep it gangster when you're trying to keep it corporate too. Corporate and gangster don't mix very well, because the things that allow you to keep it gangster in the gangster world are the things that will get you sued for everything that you own in the corporate world, right? Or the things that allow you to keep it gangster in the gangster world, are the things that will get you sent to prison in the corporate world, right? That's where Suge is right now. He's in prison. But I want you to process that whole era, and I want you to kind of think about this in terms of what I was saying earlier about the economic cost of warfare, right? And the economic opportunity of peace, the value of resolving a conflict versus the extensive, expansive, and unbelievable cost of pursuing conflict. Right? When you resolve conflict, that is one of the best investment moves you can make. One of the best investments you can make in this world is the preservation of relationships, if at all possible. Sitting down with an open heart, open mind, and saying, look, brother, what can I do to make this better? How do we fix this? I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to be in court. I don't want to lose money. I don't want you to lose. What we got to do to make this better, right? Right. So imagine if Suge Knight had that spirit. Imagine, because Suge's approach, because he's gangster, right? So Suge's approach was, I'm gonna beat you into submission. You're Vanilla Ice. I'm gonna hang you out the balcony by your ankles and make you sign the contract, right? Which, that ain't right. You can't do that to that white boy, right? But that's the kind of stuff Suge was known for doing in kind of a very dominating kind of capacity. And so effectively, when you look at that whole era, and you look at this whole, again, and that was the energy of gangster rap. The energy of gangster rap was not one of peace. It was not brother to brother. The energy of gangster rap, unfortunately, was I want to kill as many black people as possible, and then I'm going to brag about it on a record. Right? Like there was a song where the lyrics said, I shot 4 brothers or something like that. I forgot what it was, you know. So it's like literally people, like, they want to kill each other. They think that's a good thing. And so here's what, and that conflicts with, right? That conflicts with another alleged core value of gangster rap, which is get money, get money, get money, right? Money over everything, money over this, money over that, right? So how can you say money over everything when your goal is to be destructive and to lose money? And here's the other thing, too, that's very fascinating, I find. So let's say that you're in a scenario where you're dealing with a Suge Knight type person, right? Let's say that you're like Dr. Dre. If you remember the story with Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, Dre wanted to leave Death Row. A lot of people wanted to leave. I think Snoop left, and then Dre left. Pac stayed. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So Dre wants to leave Death Row. So here's what, again, this is what I read. I don't know Dr. Dre. I don't, I'm sure if he ever wants to come in and tell the whole story from his perspective, he's invited on this podcast. But from what I read, Suge does the bully thing, right? He goes to Dre's house and he challenges him to a confrontation. He shows up with a bunch of dudes with guns or something or whatever, and he says, I'm taking the masters, right? The bully thing, right? I'm taking your masters. So here's what's interesting. So Dre didn't fight back. He didn't try to pull out a bigger gun. He didn't send a bunch of thugs to go kick his ass. He didn't even sue him, from what I understand. Dre just said, here, and he handed him the masters. Now, people might think that's a punk move, right? Well, I don't know. You can think of it what you want, but here's what Dre's logic seemed to be. His logic seemed to be, my peace, being at peace is more important than keeping these masters. I'm the golden goose. I can go back in the lab and make more hits. I can build a multi-billion-dollar company on my own, which he eventually did. But I can't get back my life if I get killed. I can't get back what the consequences would be if I kill somebody else. I can't get back the loss of peace within my soul that's going to come if I'm at war with these guys that are doing these crazy things, right? So Dre's decision was to just disconnect and get away from that, right? And that's really the choice you have, right? So if you're dealing with toxic people, a lot of you, we talked about this yesterday. This is a continuation of the discussion we had yesterday. Go to drboycetv.com if you want to see that video. But basically, when you're dealing with a toxic person, so let's say Suge was just unreasonable and didn't want to work with you, the game of peace is typically a game that's easiest played when both people are playing the same game. It's hard to play basketball with somebody who wants to throw a football, right? You can't dribble a football. It doesn't work out very well. So sometimes you're playing one game, you're playing the high road game, they're playing the low road game. So your choice is either I'm going to get down and play the low road game with you, because, you ever see people say, to deal with a nigga, you got to act like a nigga, right? Like, to deal with a thug, you got to be a thug, right? Well, maybe you don't have to be a thug. Maybe there's a way to just say, I'm just not going to play this game at all. I'm just going to walk away from the game. I'm not trying to dribble a football, because that's going to make us both look stupid. Ain't no points going to get scored. Ain't nobody going to win this game, because it's not how it's supposed to be played. I'm out. I'm going to find other people that, if I want to play basketball, I find other basketball players. If you want to play the game of peace, you find other people who want to play the same game. If you play the game of conflict resolution, you find other people that play the game of conflict resolution. People that want to play the I want to destroy a black person game, you just detach. You get away from that, right? So you had three approaches, right, to a Suge Knight type situation. One is you could maintain an alliance with Suge, which is what Tupac did. Tupac continued to work with Suge, and you saw how that ended for Tupac, right? You saw now Tupac's in the casket. I argue that Tupac would not be in a casket if he was not hanging out with Suge Knight. He got killed in the car when Suge Knight was driving the car, right? Not to say that Suge did it, but Suge was just being in that energy is probably what took him out. So the second option is either you either form an alliance with Suge or you go to war with Suge. Well, going to war with Suge Knight probably would be something that would make you in a situation where you either were dead or you end up in prison, right? Because Suge Knight was playing the lower level game. So to play the lower level gangster game with Suge, you have to go down to that lower level, which means that, again, you're either judged by 12 or carried by 6, right? One or the other. You're either going to get judged by 12 in a jury, or you're going to get carried by 6 at your own damn funeral. You make a choice, funeral or prison, right? And that's a terrible decision to have to make. The third option, the one that Dre picked, The one that the one that Dre picked, I believe, the one that Ice Cube picked, the one that you could say Diddy picked. Again, I don't know all the details. I know some of y'all hip hop heads might have come back and say, well, Diddy did it. Okay, keep your conspiracies, right? I'm not trying to evaluate any of that. I'm making a point here. But the individuals that chose option 3, which is to divest completely, right, are the ones who lived to fight another day. They are the ones who ended up winning. They are the ones who are now multi-millionaires, billionaires. Diddy is a billionaire. Dr. Dre is now a billionaire. Ice Cube is going to be a billionaire, right? You can't disconnect their outcomes with their ability to strategically navigate a space where black male self-destruction was literally the premium and most selected activity of the day, right? When you're navigating a landmine like that and you come out and you're doing well years later, it's because you made a choice. You didn't choose option 1. You didn't choose to make alliances with Suge Knight because Suge Knight was self-destructive, unfortunately. You didn't choose to go to war with him because that would have destroyed somebody or destroyed you. They divested completely. Another one is Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is another guy. He walked away. He divested, right? He said, I'm not going to invest energy into forming an alliance with you. I'm not going to invest energy into fighting with you. I'm going to invest my energy elsewhere. So again, who are the 4 winners in that era? Who are the 4 guys that came out smelling like a rose, successful 25 years later? Dre, Diddy, Snoop, and Cube. Those 4 guys had a distinctly different approach to all of that chaos than, say, Tupac, Suge Knight, and some of the other individuals that ended up losing, right? So why do I bring this up? Well, because all of us make those decisions in our lives. All of us are dealing with, all of us at some point have probably run into a Suge Knight self-destructive kind of person. All of us have run into a Donald Trump type of narcissist that it might be your boss, it might be your colleague, it might be somebody that you go into business with, it might be your wife, it might be your friend, it might be whatever. And one thing I'll say is that there is such a thing as what I believe to be an abundance mindset. An abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset is critical in these situations. A scarcity mindset means I got to go to war with you because I got to get what you got, right? You took something from me. I don't want to lose it, so I'm gonna go to war with you in order to get it back, right? So what does that mean? That might mean me getting gangster and having to do some stuff that could get me locked up, or it could mean me suing you and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers and a decade of my life in court fighting you instead of building and creating something better. You can't build and create. It's hard to build and create and destroy at the same time. It's just very difficult to do that. It's hard to move forward and achieve your highest self and spend all your time seeking revenge on another person. Revenge is small thinking. Revenge is very narrow. Revenge is very limited. Revenge is oriented on the past. An abundance mindset is very forward thinking. It's very large scale thinking. It says, you know what? I'm not going to be mad at because my ex-girlfriend's with another dude, because there's a billion women out here that I've never met. Right? An abundance mindset means I'm not trying to go after you for $500 when I could go out here and make $5,000. And once I go out here and I make $5,000, I'm not even going to remember that you took $500 from me. And that's what Dr. Dre did. Dr. Dre said, yeah, it sucks that I lost. I mean, think about this. Dr. Dre was a multi-time loser, right? With NWA, Jerry Heller and Eazy-E took all this shit, right? He goes to death row. Now Suge Knight done took all this shit. Dr. Dre still had enough of an abundance mindset to say, I'm going to go start Aftermath Records. And Aftermath Records has made hundreds of millions of dollars. He found 50 Cent and Eminem and did all these things that would have been harder to do if he was spending all his time in court or spending time in prison because he decided to operate on a lower vibration with Suge Knight and go get gangster and go get his money back. Right? So what I just want to say with you guys is this is what I'm advocating for you guys. Now, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to encourage you to believe in yourself enough to know that there's a difference in outcomes between people that have a difference in strategy. And I'm also here to help you become aware and conscious of the fact that a lot of what you've been taught about how you're supposed to navigate life, particularly as an African American or as a black person around the world, a lot of that's just absolute BS. A lot of it's a damn lie. It's destructive. It's harmful. This idea that you got to always go through fighting people all the time, that's not the way to win. That really isn't the way to win. And I'm not talking about winning in the sense of defeating another person. I'm talking about winning in terms of achieving your best self. That's the big win. That's the big win. Defeating another person literally does not make me a winner. It just means they lost more than I did. And so because they're small, they're smaller than me, I somehow feel tall. I feel tall because I made you small. That's not tall. That's you creating a false reality in your head that somehow getting revenge on another person somehow makes you a better person or a more successful person, and you're not. You're absolutely not. So what I just want to encourage you guys to do is just understand that when you're dealing with assholes in your life, we all deal with them. We all deal with the Suge Knights or people that just don't make no damn sense, not playing the same game as us. They playing they playing the nigga game, and you're trying to play the black man game, right? Like you can't. It's hard to play the black man game and the nigga game at the same time. It just doesn't work. They don't fit together. It's like playing basketball against a football player. It doesn't compute if you're not using the same ball. Well, you got three choices. You can either fix things and form an alliance, which allows you to win at the highest levels, because if I've got 10 and you've got 10, then together we have 20 and we can elevate together, right? That's one possibility. Or the second option, which I don't recommend, is when I go to war with you, which means if I got 10 and you got 10, we fight it out, and at the end you got 2 and I got 4 and I declare myself the winner, which I didn't win at all. I'm just not the biggest loser. Or you can go the third option, which is to divest completely. Have an abundance mindset that says that rather than me choosing whether or not, how I'm going to engage with you, whether I'm going to have peace with you or war with you, well, I could go in the other direction. In mathematics, they refer to this as orthogonality. Orthogonality is a concept in mathematics that says that basically I'm not going to really operate on this plane with you at all. I'm simply going to elevate to another dimension where you don't even fucking exist. Where you don't even exist. I'm going to elevate to the point where I'm in a space that is completely independent of you. Like, think about this. Think about it in terms of love. All of us have had those situations where we, they say the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference, right? Well, we've all had those situations where we're in love with somebody and then they hurt our feelings, so we hate them, right? And we're keeping tabs. We want to know how they're doing so that we can show them like I'm doing better than you and this, that, and the other, right? You're obsessed. You're small-minded thinking because you're thinking about how that person's, doing, and if they're happy, it makes you somehow feel bad, right? That's not your best self, right? Your best self is a year later when you're in a better relationship. And somebody says, well, so-and-so got married, and you're like, oh, good for them. You don't give a fuck. You just don't care anymore. You're like, I don't even think about her. Right? Like that's really the place that you want to be. And to me, that is, that's an abundance mindset, because basically what's happened is you figured out that there are many, many more fish in the sea. There are better fish in the sea. And you can literally move forward and say, thank you for this experience. It was great. It was cool. But I'm sorry it didn't work out. But, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Right? And all of that is about, the deliberate strategy that you choose to pursue when you deal with it. So like when Dr. Dre dealt with Suge Knight, he had choices, right? He could have found a way to work with Suge. Maybe that could have worked if Suge wasn't so self-destructive. They could have formed a great team. But working with Suge was not the optimal solution because Suge was on his way to prison, right? He could have went to war with Suge, which would have been very bad because then you end up either dead or in jail, right? Instead, he had an abundance mindset and he went orthogonal on Suge. He took it to a whole different plane, another dimension where Suge Knight was not a factor one way or the other. That Suge's, success or his failure had nothing to do with his life. You disconnect. So you always have that option to just disconnect and say, look, instead of trying to beat you at this game, I'm just not going to play. I'll be playing, maybe I'll play a game, but I'm going to play a game that's better suited for me. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? Did this message hit you in a place where you are following what I'm saying and that it made sense to you? Give me a yes or no. It's all about an abundance mindset. Don't be going to war with people if it, especially when it ain't worth it. And 99 times out of 100, it just ain't worth it. Fighting people, and because I'm saying even the way we always sitting around mad at what the white man did, and the white man did this and white man did that, and that doesn't mean that those things aren't real. It doesn't mean that. The white man is your ultimate Suge Knight. Suge Knight was a bully. The white man is the biggest motherfucking bully that there ever was. Excuse my French. I'm not going to cuss anymore, I promise. But the white man is your bully. The white supremacy has been bullying you for 400 years. And so you've been going to war with the bully for a long time. It's been very costly for many of you in terms of your mental health and your physical health and your economic health, right? And so you think you have two choices, right? Either I get along with white supremacy and I get white folks to give me money because I'm a good Negro, or I fight with them and I become the bad Negro, but I'm also crazy and I'm broke and I'm mad and I'm sitting still and I'm not moving forward because all I can do is sit around and be mad about them, right? But remember, you also have option 3. Option 3 is to say, I'm just going to disconnect. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to be with some people that get me, not necessarily just black people or not necessarily all black people. I'm going to get with the smart black people who want peace, who want prosperity, who want success. And we're going to do so well. We're going to find so much economic and political and psychological love over here that I literally will not even have the time or the brain space to sit back and even think about how I would have felt if I was still hanging out with you. Like literally, I'm not even thinking about my ex-girlfriend, because I've got a beautiful, loving wife who I know is going to love me even if I was in a wheelchair or dead, right? So I'm not. You have no energy to be mad at another person if you spend that time loving yourself and loving your life, loving your future, loving your possibilities. Fall in love with that, and love is always just such a stronger force than hate, because hate will eat away at you and it will destroy you. Love makes you great. Love makes you extraordinary. Love makes you shine. And when the sun is really shining, then you can. People going, negative people, they're going to spit at the sun, right? But the sun ain't going to spit back. The sun does not spit back. The sun just keeps shining and wishes them the best, right? So that's what you do with the people that really eat at your soul or make you mad, or people that have harmed you. Disconnect, divest, don't invest that energy in them. Move forward and have an abundance approach. That's what I'm recommending for you guys to do. That's my 2 cents. That's what I believe. And that's what I do on my best day when I'm operating at my right frequency. Because sometimes we can all fall off the track every now and then, because coonery and negativity, it can be very addictive if you were raised on that. All right, guys, so I'm going to try my best to always stay away from that, because I don't want to do that. I want to live my best life and live a good life and live a successful life and live a happy life. I don't want one that's mired in the negativity and the misery of constant warfare. That's not fun for me. All right, guys. So I hope that this helps you. I hope that this makes you strong. I hope that this gives you what you need to get through the day. Maybe it helps. You can add this to the toolkit. Please do me a favor. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button right now. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button, notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. Also, make sure you subscribe at theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. As you guys know, I give economic lessons, but I correlate and connect economics with life, right? So this is a life lesson, because economics is a part of life, and life isn't just economics, right? But you're making investment decisions every single day of your life. Most of those investments have nothing to do with money, right? So that's why we talk about things in a little bit of a different format, and I hope it helps you understand the entirety of the game that you're playing. Okay, guys? So last but not least, the masterclass starts on May 6th. So if you'd like to join us in the investing masterclass, feel free to go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. Or you can look around in the Black Business School and see if there's anything else that you're interested in. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. And if I offended Suge Knight or Dr. Dre in any of this commentary, I want to say I'm sorry, guys. It did no offense here, but I had to say what I had to say. All right, have a good day, guys. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.